I learned first and foremost directly from the Greenlanders that they are a very proud people, a very strong and resilient people, as the Prime Minister has noted. I knew that because I've been to Greenland multiple times, but it was reinforced to me in so many different ways. And it underscored, again, why we respect the self-determination of the people of Greenland, why we respect the sovereignty of the Kingdom of Denmark as you choose the decisions that are best for the people, and we respect that will and that choice. The conversation that has been had in this past year about somehow or other acquiring, buying, taking over military force, whatever the terminology may be, has distracted in ways that I don't think any of us could have anticipated.
All right, folks, buckle up, because what you just watched from Forbes Breaking News featuring Senator Lisa Murkowski talking about Greenland, that deserves a serious conversation. Now, let me start by saying this clearly. The Arctic matters. Greenland matters. National security matters. And as a patriot who believes in American strength, American sovereignty, and American leadership, I take this discussion very seriously.
In this. But when we're spending this much time talking about the situation with Greenland and whether or not the United States is going to acquire it, it takes the eye off the real issue, the real threat, which is Russia, and what Russia is doing with China. And it takes away our ability to build on these alliances that have been so strong, that are so important going forward. And it unfortunately focuses the issue of security solely on defense, when there is so much more that needs to be wrapped into the security discussion when we're talking about the Arctic. Remember, it is cold and dark much of the time. It is very isolated. In our Arctic, very small populations, we have shared challenges in terms of affordability of people to live there, how we are able to keep our young people in our Arctic communities. What are our economies? We can share so much with Greenland in terms of what it means to have a small community be overtaken by a cruise ship that comes to your town. You want the economy, but you want to have your own identity. We have so much to be working on. And we have been so distracted is a mild term right now. In my view, it has been offensive that this view that the United States can come in and say, we want this to a sovereign territory. That's not how major powers should act. This is not the way the United States should lead when it comes to the Arctic. This is not how we should lead when we are trying to build our alliances in an area that is so very, very, very necessary now.
Thank you so much for your clarity.
I do want to take some questions. I have one very quick one for Prime Minister Nielsen. I'm just curious, how much of your time since President Trump has really started talking about, how much of your time is this taking up? I mean, is this your primary focus right now?
It is, of course it is.
It is. Even still.
Murkowski talks about how proud and resilient the Greenlandic people are. And she's right. No one is denying that. America was founded on self-determination. That principle matters. But here's where I see it differently. When President Trump floated the idea of acquiring Greenland, the political class and the media acted like it was insane. Let's slow down. The United States has strategically acquired territory before. The Louisiana Purchase. Alaska. Strategic land deals are not some wild fantasy. They've shaped American strength. Was it bold? Yes. Was it unconventional? Absolutely. Was it illegal or immoral? Just to discuss. No, Murkowski says the conversation has been a distraction. I actually think it forced Americans to wake up to how important the Arctic really is. Let's talk reality. Russia has been militarized in the Arctic. China calls itself a near-Arctic state. They're investing in infrastructure, minerals, shipping lanes. They're thinking decades ahead. Meanwhile, we're worried about whether discussing Greenland hurts someone's feelings. Geopolitics is not about feelings. It's about positioning. Now, I agree with Murkowski on one major point. The real threat is Russia working with China. That is absolutely the issue. But if Greenland sits in a critical geographic location between North America and Europe, if it contains rare earth minerals, if Arctic routes are opening because of melting ice, then why would we act like strengthening America's presence there is outrageous? That's strategic thinking. If America doesn't increase its influence in the Arctic, someone else will. She argues that acquisition talk undermines alliances. I would argue weakness undermines alliances far more than ambition does. Allies respect a nation that knows its interests and pursues them confidently. Now, I agree we should respect Denmark's sovereignty. Nobody serious is talking about military invasion. But negotiation, economic agreements, defense expansion, that's what strong nations do. And here's something Murkowski mentioned that's important. Arctic communities struggle with affordability, youth retention, economic sustainability. That's real. But you know what helps struggling regions? Investment, infrastructure, security, stability, economic opportunity. Alaska maintained its identity after becoming part of the United States. Greenland wouldn't suddenly lose its culture if stronger partnerships or agreements were made. What concerns me is this mindset that bold American thinking is automatically offensive. Leadership isn't apologizing for strategic interests. Leadership is articulating them clearly and pursuing them lawfully and confidently. Yes, build alliances. Yes, counter Russia. Yes, watch China carefully. But don't shame ambition. Don't confuse strategic leverage with aggression. Greenland isn't just ice and snow. It's geography. It's minerals. It's military positioning. It's early warning systems. It's future trade routes. In the 21st century, geography still matters. So here's my bottom line as a right-leaning patriot. America must lead in the Arctic. America must think long-term. America must not be afraid to negotiate boldly. Playing small in a world where Russia and China are playing big, that's the real danger. If you agree that America needs strong leadership and serious strategic thinking, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more unapologetic breakdowns of what's really happening in Washington and around the world, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Let's keep the conversation going.